HTML editors. 4 key capabilities to address web accessibility issues. Certain capabilities within HTML editors can go a long way in tackling web accessibility issues. Specifically, your editor should have 4 essential capabilities. Accessibility checking as you type, wizard to create accessible tables, again, inspecting content and providing accessibility reports, providing compatibility with assistive technologies. But before delving into these capabilities in greater detail, we'll first provide some background information on web accessibility and standards. Accessibility, the force behind most web standards. When you comply with web accessibility standards, first and foremost, your web pages can be accessed by persons with disabilities, while also gaining greater visibility in searches. The search engine is able to access and index your documents more easily and accurately. The same goes for robots that collect information from your website on behalf of search engines. Compliance to standards offers additional benefits as well. For example, your web pages can be converted to other formats, including databases and Word documents. Standards help create versatility. Web documents can be accessed through other software and hardware platforms. Fortunately, a good HTML editor can provide the necessary capabilities to help you comply with the web's accessibility standards. With these capabilities already built into the application, you won't have to worry about meeting compliance standards. The editor will do the heavy lifting for you. In terms of web accessibility, here's what your editor should provide. Capability number 1. Accessibility checking as you type. You and your authors want to know if your content is compliant before it's published. Therefore, an important capability to have is accessibility checking as you type. This feature lets you immediately spot things like images missing alternative text, inaccessible tables, and other accessibility issues. The accessibility checking as you type function works as simply as a word processing spell checker. It's a must-have feature for HTML editing. Capability number 2, creating accessible tables. It's not easy to create accessible tables, so make sure you get all the help you can get from your HTML editor. The accessibility checking as you type feature mentioned above will identify any issues, but you should have additional capabilities available as well. Your editor should provide other capabilities to create accessible tables, such as a convert to percentage widths feature. With one click, your HTML editor should be able to create a relative size table. Also, a table accessibility inspector and table accessibility wizard can help users apply the right header and data cell relationships by pointing and clicking, not coding HTML. Capability number 3, inspecting content and providing accessibility reports. Your HTML editor needs to thoroughly inspect your content against 2 established sets of industry guidelines: the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines and Section 508 of the U.S. Rehabilitation Acts Amendment of 1998. Then, it must deliver accessibility reports highlighting any errors. Developed by the World Wide Web Consortium, the WCAG formal guidelines identify how to create accessible web content. WCAG 2.0 includes 12 guidelines and 65 checkpoints. The checkpoints are prioritized from 1 to 3 in terms of access barriers. A priority 1 checkpoint indicates barriers make access impossible for 1 or more user groups. Priority 2 denotes access is difficult, and priority 3 signifies access is somewhat difficult. For each guideline, testable success criteria are provided. In order to meet the needs of different groups in different situations, 3 levels of conformance to WCAG 2.0 guidelines are defined: A, lowest, AA, and AAA, highest. An outcome of legislation, the Architectural and Transportation Barriers Compliance Board, also called the Access Board, published an Electronic and Information Technology Accessibility Standards, Section 508, in December 2000. The section on web-based Internet and Internet information and applications provides 16 standards which define the minimum level of accessibility for federal government websites. These standards strongly resemble the WCAG checkpoints and continue to be reviewed for need for enhancement. Capability number 4, providing compatibility with assistive technologies. You also want your HTML editor's interface to be accessibility compliant with assistive technologies. What does this mean? Not only do people with disabilities need to be able to access the web, but your web pages as well. Everyone accessing your site must understand it, even if they use a non-typical browser. For example, a person with a vision disability would be using a voice browser that reads web pages out loud, like the JAWS from Freedom Scientific, or a Braille browser that translates text into Braille. Other unusual devices might include handheld browsers and teletext displays. Making sure your content management tools address web accessibility standards will help ensure traditional browsers, as well as non-traditional browsers and devices, can access your web page. If you don't follow standards, you'll limit access to your target audience and adversely affect your business.